So we are here at the Magic Johnson Theater right here in Harlem, and I'm here tonight to witness a new premiere screening of The Day He Died. Now this movie is starring Leon, we got Bruce Willis, we got Frank Grillo, and of course Kevin Dillon, and a lot of other great actors as well. We're going to meet some of the cast tonight, we're going to see some of the clips, we're going to see some great scenes, and we're going to get some reactions from the people that came here. But stay on the red carpet, because I'll be right back with my first guest. So we're here with one of the stars of The Day He Died, my man Leon. Good to see you, man. I'm great, man. I'm great. You're looking good. You're looking good. Let's talk about this character, Tyrone Badass. You're playing a badass this time. I know you got a little bit of $2 million money out there from Kevin Capaldi, giving money for taking out one of your boys. Tell me about the character and how you got into this role.
Well, you know, what I do is, you know, for the most part, I just, you know, create a backstory for my character, realizing where he's from. And, you know, I just bring the writer's voice to it. So,
You've been doing that for a long, long time. You're always playing that pretty boy in a lot of the great movies, but now playing a badass, it's a little different type of role. Well, probably a little more exciting.
You know, a badass can still be pretty.
That's true. Pretty badass. All right, I got you. Now, the other question is, how was it to work with, you got Bruce Willis, you got Frank Grillo, who right off The Avengers, and of course Kevin Connolly, who's known throughout his career, obviously Entourage, back in the day, The Blob.
Oh, you mean Kevin Dillon? That's Kevin Connolly.
You know why?
Because you're watching movies.
Right,
exactly.
See, I got that mixed up. Kevin Dillon, I'll see you soon, but my bad. Tell me about that, working with you.
Oh, you know, it's a great cast. You know, New York guys, you know, it's just a great cast. Wes put together a great cast. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and Wes Miller did a hell of a job on this film. So guys, if you don't know, this is Leon. We're talking about A Day to Die. You check it out in theaters, coming out soon. So we're on the red carpet with one of the other actors in the film that had a significant role. This is Mohamed, who actually played Vernon in the film. You actually had a tough role because your role, people I don't think were sure if you were a good guy or if you were a bad guy. I had a sense you were a good guy because you could see that you were testing your boss. Now, how hard was that to play literally two types of roles in one role and try to pull it off?
It was really kind of like, you know, that edge sort of like tough to play. You don't want to reveal, are you a good guy or bad guy, right?
Correct.
But I'm so glad for this film that I'm the good guy, and the fact that you're playing, you know, detective, usually like, the sort of like the film that I've been so far. It's like, mostly like the action, the villain. So I'm really excited for this film that here, especially here in Hollywood, like the first one that is the good guy. So I'm really excited about this.
Your role to me is one of the most significant roles, and I'm going to explain why. A lot of things that are happening today, people are taping it, but nobody ever steps in. It's showing what you did with social media, where you couldn't get to him, but just recording that one scene that I won't tell you guys about was a huge part of this movie on how it ended. Did you guys create that during that scene, or is that something you thought of like, hey, this is how we should do it? How did that come about?
When I got shot, right, like
in the ass?
Yeah, in the ass.
With that old school sound that they're doing there?
Yeah.
I started laughing. I almost swallowed my gum.
Yeah, me too, man. It wasn't, because when we shot that, actually, it's really funny. It wasn't my ass, though. It was my back and my leg. And like when I was like, oh shit, man.
I know, I saw your girl, she's like, baby, I'll take care of you when we get home. I got you. I'll rub that out. No problem, no problem.
Yeah. So when that happened, you know, so it was like that moment where like you gonna grab your gun, you cannot, you feel the pain, right? At the same time, it's your chance to prove and to bring them down. So it was like really sort of that moment that you have to take a decision, and I took the decision of putting the whole thing on tape.
I was mentioning a lot of the characters, you know, from Frank Grillo to Kevin Dillon to Leon. Obviously, Leon did a phenomenal job.
Sure.
But your entire scenes was with an iconic actor, with Bruce Willis. I mean, how excited you to see yourself in film where literally every scene is you and him. How did that feel about it?
My career to be next to a legend like that. So I'm really grateful and really happy for him. It seems to come out like this, and people like the movie. It's such a
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be great. I think you'll definitely do well in the theater. You'll do much better on streaming like everybody else does. You gotta check this guy out. This is actor Mohamed Karim. And you're gonna see him in A Day to Die this Friday, March 4th. So go get your tickets and go check it out. I went back and bumped into another one of my guys, it's Vernon Davis. If you guys don't know him by now, you don't watch football. But this guy's been doing a lot more great things off the field, because right now he's on a bigger field in Hollywood. And brother, tell me what you thought about the role that you played, because Wayne had a lot of significance in this, and I love the character. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, when I first read the script, I was like, this Dwayne guy is really, he adds to this cast. He has a very beautiful personality. Yeah. And I had to think, who do I know that's like this character? Who can I embody and liken to this character?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And as you break down the script and you do your work and you put your scene objectives and find all of the obstacles that this character has to go through, your backstory, you come up with a beautiful personality.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this character. But I think he added really well to the group.
Yeah, I think so too, because each person in the group had a significant role, had different personalities, where they grew up, where they were from. I mean, you were pretty much showing like, I want to be no tech guy. I want to get back to what I love to do, is being with my boys.
Right.
But you got to obviously back together in this unfortunate circumstance. Now, the funny thing was, I can't throw a spoiler, but when he went down, some girl behind was like, how we resuscitate him? I couldn't stop.
Dude, that is too funny, man. That is hilarious. That is so funny.
Yo, but the movie was great, and then you got to work with Bruce Willis.
Yes, twice.
I mean, you know, Leon and everybody else, amazing actors.
Oh, I'm very blessed, man. I'm just thankful for the opportunities. A lot of people, I mean, they would die to get this kind of opportunity. So, you know, truly thankful to be able to work with guys like Leon and Bruce Willis.
Oh no, this is Vernon Davis. Check him out. He's got a lot more films coming up. All right, so we're back on the red carpet, and right now, of course, I got to interview the director, Wes Miller. Wes, how you doing?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I don't appreciate you looking better than me. It's kind of pissing me off right now, man. I should have worn
It's my only suit, man.
That's true. That's true. That's true. You had an amazing film, packed house where people were even standing up, and they were even standing, applauding halfway through this event. They loved the movie. They loved the concept. They loved the vibe. I have to ask, what made you decide to shoot in that area that you guys shot in? What was the significance?
Well, I mean, real talk, Mississippi has like very good film incentives, but then I also wanted to be somewhere where it's an urban landscape, because to me this is like a true urban film.
Yep.
And it's you know, in the city, in the grit and everything. And so Jackson, like visually, was really nice. And once we got there scouting the location, the people there were amazing.
I thought it was a great location when you picked. That's why I'm asking about it. Now, the cast itself, how long was the process to choose these characters? Because you nailed it, to be honest with you. Like each character, from the jump off to the guards, to the military guys, but then to the main characters as well, they played their parts to a T, where you could tell who each person was. How did you guys decide on each one?
You know, it is a time-consuming process, man. And you know, basically we just go through as many takes for like some of the others, and then for like our main guys, you know, you just kind of have in your mind like when you're casting and when you're writing and you're getting ready. And you know, when each name came up with these guys, I was like, no, that's it. If we can get them, we're great. And then I think Kevin Dillon was the last one we brought on, because that Connor role is so specific.
Yes, it was.
And we needed that guy to nail it. And you know, Kevin just freaking killed it, man. So I was a little nervous about him because of, I know him a lot from Entourage.
I know him from the Blob.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Back
And
in
he's
the
like,
day.
man, you just don't know. I used to do dramatic work, man.
Yeah.
And I think he worked with all the time. He's right, man. Like, you can see he's a real serious dramatic actor. And then, like you said, you have the Frank and the Bruce, and then you have Leon, all these different personalities, all strong on their own, but together it just adds a very, unique alchemy of a mix of people. And I thought they did an amazing job bringing these characters together.
Yeah, and then you also have Frank Grillo, and a lot of people who are starting to know him now, I know him from a lot of other films, but from the Avengers.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of great core groups inside here. What I do like about it, I love the black and white consistency of the actors. I love the core, I love the camaraderie of it, and I love the fact that at the end, it didn't matter what color you were, they came together because they knew somebody was screwing the boat, and it's showing you that the big dog, when you hide a gun, eventually the guns are going to turn around, and it's about what's right and what's wrong, and this came back to love, and you saw the love in the end between Leon and Kevin, and they became a family. Did you guys write that in last minute, or is that something else before?
So when I came on the project, I did a rewrite, and that's kind of a lot of what I added to it. Because my goal as a filmmaker is to be a commercial filmmaker, but also say something. I think films are too important. Like the film medium, it's almost really like a 21st century church. Like everybody congregates, everybody gets a message. And you don't have to beat people over the head with the message, but you just do like you said. And for me, the film is a metaphor as to where we are today. We're split on race, we're split on politics. And, sometimes we have to put all that stuff aside and come together for a common good. And that's kind of what they did like that.
And I love it. Yeah, you hit it on the nose. And guys, especially while we're talking about coming together, make sure you guys come together this Friday, March 4th, where this film is going to be in theaters everywhere. And definitely check it out, A Day to Die. This is my man, Wes Miller, the director of this great film. So we're back right now, and I found a pretty known actor right here, my man Khalil. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. What's happening?
I'm good. I'm glad you're here. So what brought you out here tonight, man? Who are you here to support right now?
Leon. See, Leon's over there. He's talking to the
Who's
kid.
Leon? That tall guy?
Yeah, that tall brother. That's my guy, man, from back in the day. So we called and said, he's having a screening here. I had to come.
Yeah, of course.
Support.
What'd you think about this movie? Because the great part about it is that you got Bruce Willis, right? You have Frank Grillo. You got Kevin Dillon. And they
But you have
Dillon. And I was gonna go right to the
Leon.
Yeah,
Leon.
that's what I'm saying. But the cast,
Yeah, she's
all
cool,
these
but
guys.
Leon was the
Leon's
best thing.
always been a great actor. And I'm loving seeing how they're surrounding him with guys just as good as he is. And to put a film like this together, I mean, what do you think of the whole plot, especially with Leon playing a badass? I thought it was good.
I thought Leon was really great in the film, man. It's 2022. Theaters are opening back up.
That's right.
It's an exciting time. I was excited just to come sit in the theater.
Wow. I haven't been here in 2 years. This is my personal fact. No mask, nothing. That's
great.
I wouldn't even recognize you. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta ask. So you're working on some stuff. But you got something that we can know about? That you want to talk about?
There's a film, The Millennium.
Okay.
It's on BT Plus right now. I directed it. And yeah, got a ton of stuff happening. There's a play, Rams to Slaughter. Also, it's going to be at the Cherry Lane Theater. June 17th, we're opening 2022.
All right, we love it. So guys, check this guy out, Gene. He's doing his thing. Okay, guys, so we're back on the virtual red carpet, and I got another great guest here with me on the virtual red carpet. She's coming in from LA. I know she's shooting a lot of films out there. Please welcome to FaceTime with Todd Wharton, Brooke Butler. Brooke, how you doing?
Hi, good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So, a lot of us caught the movie, and we've been talking about it all week. Had a lot of great guests on from your colleagues in the movie. And A Day to Die, you were the only female lead, but you really played in a pretty interesting role. You went from kind of starting as a helpless victim to a very brave, smart, hostage, where you kind of played this role where you were doing reverse psychology to get out of it. But I think that came from playing a character who's a wife of somebody who's got a military background. So tell me about this character and tell me how you felt playing alongside Kevin Dillon, who played Connor as you played Candace on the movie.
First of all, working with Kevin was incredible. He was so collaborative, which was important for us to have that chemistry when we would discuss, you know, the dynamics of our marriage and things that we want and our financial status, and did we want kids, and where are we working, and were we in a fight before this scene happened. And I think it really built in nicely working with him. And when I first stepped onto this project, knowing that Candace was one of the only female leads in the film, I talked to Wes Miller, the director, and said it was extremely important for me that she is strong and not a victim. Yeah. So even though in the beginning you see her living her daily life, not thinking about fighting for her life, she's put in a situation where she discovers who she is. And she realizes that is someone who is completely capable, completely strong, has a husband that she believes in, but at the same time isn't going to wait around for a man, is going to fight her way out of it as well.
Yeah, and I think there are a million women when they see this interview are going to be like, yes, that's all.
Yeah, we can do it. I fear for the person that kidnaps me, I'll just say that.
Yeah. So everybody just take note. Do not kidnap this lady. All right, we'll leave it at that. I think the best scene that you were in was with Leon, because even though you were trying to trick him, right, there was a part of you that actually really felt for him and believed that he was actually a genuine person. Was that the type of character you're trying to get out there in that scene?
Well, right, of course. And I think that's part of sometimes the feminine nature is we can kind of get down to the core of, if this were my son, if this were my partner. And she could see those parts in him sitting there, hearing all the things she's not supposed to be hearing, knowing that what she's hearing could then potentially get her killed. And Leon is an incredible actor. I think we approach acting in a similar sense. So we kind of had this method thing going on with each other. And he has an extremely strong, almost menacing presence, which was perfect for me. So I would just kind of sit there and be, while lights were happening and people were yelling and things were getting set up, I would just kind of sit there and imagine, all the women that have been through something like this. This is not make believe. And B, taking in Leon and the way he would walk around and how that would make me feel. And I think we created a great chemistry with that really showed up.
Yeah, I loved it. I love it. And in the end, when you guys were going to the plane, there was scene with Leon's on the plane. And then Kevin just stops to give you a hug because he misses you and hugging you. The theater is like, get on the plane. And I'm just looking and I'm putting my head over like this. And I'm just like, white people. It was just like, get on the plane. Like, what are you guys doing? But you guys.
And that's part of the heart of the film is our relationship and, you know, all that he's willing to do to get there. And, you know, Leon is, with all the heart, I think I wanted Candace to be part of the innocence. And so that's part of who, you know, she is, that she's still, you don't know when it's your hour, right? You don't know what's coming. So I'm going to give a hug and a kiss to the person that means the most to me, because if this is it, that's the most important thing.
I'll be honest with you, the way it ended, it was great. But if it ended differently, and this is one of those movies where it was, you guys were so good together. I would have loved to see a sequel, to be honest with you. I just felt there was such great camaraderie amongst the entire cast, you know, with Vernon and Alexander and Gianni, and obviously Bruce and Frank and Johnny and Mohamed as well, who's a great actor. I would love to see more of you guys work together in the future. And congrats on all your success so far. And thank you for being a guest on FaceTime with Todd Warren. If you guys don't know, definitely check out Brooke Butler on A Day to Die. That's out in theaters right now, and also on streaming on most major platforms. Brooke,
FaceTime with Todd Wharton.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you so much.
I got a special guest on board on the virtual carpet here at Day to Die. I got my man Gianni Capaldi from Winnipeg. Gianni, how you doing, brother?
I'm great. I'm stuck up here in the snow in another shoot, freezing my ass off. But yeah, it's great.
I'm going to tell you right now, I became a fan of yours overnight. I got to witness the premiere, and the camaraderie in the cast was so amazing. Now, you play Tim, and you happen to play the brother of Connor, who's played by Kevin Dillon. And you guys seem like you've known each other all your lives, the way you guys acted. You played a brother. There was definitely a controversy there. You had a little argument that was turned more into a fist fight, because I don't think I can ever punch my brother the way you did in that film. But tell me how you worked up to this character and how it was playing side by side with Kevin and Leon and everybody else in the film.
Well, with Kevin, you know, we kind of hit it off from the start. You know, he's a great guy to work with. You know, he's funny. Him and I are very similar personalities, and you know, we developed that bond, that brotherhood kind of bond, like immediately. Wow. So I think we hung out every day. I think the only time out of 4 weeks that we didn't hang out was the one night his girlfriend came into town, and I still wanted to hang out with him. But yeah, I mean, we developed a great bond, and we hope that it carried onto the screen. So, but yeah, you know, and that fist fight, you know, brothers sometimes fight, but they love each other at the end of it and make up, you know.
Yeah, you guys were real good, and there were a couple of twists and turns. I'm not going to go more into it. I want people to see this film because right now it's on demand on all streaming platforms. But in the theater, when we saw a U-turn on where your relationship ended, we didn't even see it coming, but we understood why it happened. Your character did what you did, but at the end of the day, brotherly love was always there. Now, were you prepared to do this type of role? Because the role itself had a personal conflict, because there was a drug habit involved that caused your character to change its ways during the show. How did you adapt to that?
Yeah, you know, it's one of those ones where you kind of you got to think for the greater good, you know. So you've got to put yourself in a position where you're doing something that has trapped you, you know, because he was a user, you know, he the drug user in the movie at the start, right. And it was one of those things where sometimes the greater good was obviously, you know, helping my brother out, and ultimately his daughter, you know. So that was my gift as an uncle. Yeah. And that's, you know, it's the greater good of life, right? We do everything for kids. You know, I got two beautiful little girls, age 2 and 5, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do for them. Yep. You know, so I would give up anything for them. So you put yourself in those shoes, then that's how you kind of overcome any obstacle you have in life or that has a hold on you.
Yeah, and I love the way you said it. And by the way, congratulations on you two beautiful girls. That's pretty cool.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Now, you're a Scottish actor, award-winning, and I'll be honest with you, you sound better at speaking English than I do.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You adapted to the role really well. How did you like working also with Vernon Davis, who's all-pro 49er, and how did you guys because your team, between you, Alexander, Frank, and Kevin,
yeah,
that was a great team. I love the characters. How did you like working with all these guys together in those teams?
Well, I met Vernon on a movie called Hell on the Border. Mm-hmm. And Vernon's such a lovely guy. He's such a nice guy. He's another guy I kind of clicked with. Yeah. You kind of meet people. That's what I love about my job is, like, you travel the world and you meet souls, and some souls you click. Vernon I clicked with. He's great. I love him. You know, so when I knew he was on this movie, One Day to Die, and he did a great job, I clicked with him. You know, so with Vernon it was great. It was easy. You know, Alex I met as well. I think he had a small then for a couple of days on Hell on the Board. I can't remember now. But yeah, he's another lovely guy, lovely family. So yeah, so, you know, and Frank and I worked maybe 3 times together now. So we kind of know each other, and yeah, he's my baba, man. Love Frank.
He's awesome. I mean, all of them were great. And congratulations on the film. You pretty much got a standing ovation here in New York City when the movie was over. People really loved it. Oh, yeah, they really adapted to it. It was such a great film. If you guys don't know, definitely go see A Day to Die. It's in select theaters now and definitely on demand. Appreciate you being on FaceTime with Todd Wharton, taking the time out for your busy schedule, and getting out of the cold, just staying warm. So hopefully I attributed to that. And you got to get some coffee. I see you in the shop. So,
I had my coffee, yeah. I had the coffee, so now I just got to figure out how to get back to the hotel in this visit.
well, man, I look forward to speaking with you soon, and I can't wait to see your next film. And thank you for being on the show, brother.
Fantastic. I hope you enjoy The Day to Die, and thanks for watching and taking the time.
We're back on the virtual red carpet, and I got my man Alexander Kane here from A Day to Die. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm here to show you that the accent is actually authentic.
Oh, it's crazy, and you're probably hearing my accent. So we got Brooklyn and we got Southern. Where you doing this from right now, anyway?
I'm down at where our movie studio's at in South Georgia, Fitzgerald, Georgia, Tifton, Georgia area, about 3 hours south of Atlanta. So right in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, I love it. And I'm a big Atlanta fan. Like, half my R&B friends that live down in Atlanta. So
Atlanta's awesome. I mean, it's a great place to obviously hang out, party, and do all your networking. But home for us is rural part of we're rural Americans. So Steve is real. I mean, that's very much me, shooting guns and saying crazy stuff. That's kind of just he's kind of a creation of people I grew up around.
Oh, I love it. I'm in front of the red carpet. You're on the front porch. I mean, this is great. I mean, it's perfect.
That's it. I'm on the south. I'm in the front porch fighting off the gnats.
This is how we do. So let's talk about the film. Now, first of all, you're definitely no stranger to working with Bruce Willis, because originally you did do a movie with him called Gasoline Alley with Luke Wilson. So you obviously have worked with him before. But in terms of the whole cast, let's talk about your character, Steve. Now, you played a military guy that reconnected, with Kevin Dillon and Vernon Davis and Frank Grillo and Gianni Capaldi, where, obviously there was an issue going on with Kevin's character. Tell me how you got into this role, because your character, I think was the bad boy out of all of them, even though Frank's character was the bad. I think your character was the bad boy. Tell me about how you got into this character.
Yeah, well, when Wes and I started, we worked together on Hell on the Border. Mm-hmm. And then, I think we hit it off. I only did like 1 or 2 scenes, and it didn't really work for the movie. It was more like if they make a second one, my character would be Frank James, and he would kind of come back in the second one, I think, the way we had thought about it. So when he came to me with 6 hours, the script wasn't like it ended up. And Wes and I are real big on like challenging each other to do our best work. So, Steve, he was like, I'm going to create this character for you, but like, obviously, I probably can't write a Southern guy like you can. So me and him basically I improv'd almost all the lines.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, Wes and I, Wes had, faith in me, and I trusted him, and, he had some idea about what he wanted me to say.
Yeah.
And then he let me, as a great filmmaker would, he said, hey, true essence of the character, I cast you, I trust you, run with it. So we tried a bunch of different things. I mean, you heard the Dukes of Hazzard line, you heard all the different lines that would work for. I just wanted Steve to be a fun time, right? Steve's here to shoot some stuff, blow some stuff up, laugh and smirk and grin while he's doing it. And I think it worked, because a movie that's heavy sometimes and full of action sort of needs that character that's kind of quirky and, keeps it on its toes. So I was excited to play. And I had my Fitzgerald hat on from down here. I was rocking my hometown hat. Wes is a great filmmaker in that he does allow you to explore. He doesn't hold you to like, I wrote something so perfect, you got to say every word that I wrote. That's the great thing about Wes, is he allows you to sort of, as Christopher Walken says, explore the space.
Wait, do that accent again? What was that?
He says explore the space. Explore the space.
I love it. And the best part, even though you were a bad guy, not a bad guy, you were a good guy, but you brought that comedic aspect of the character to life, because I think you were the centerpiece of that group, right? Because they all had their own things, but you had that comedic character about you. On top of being, I'm the military guy. I'm the guy that's
I'm the sniper, baby.
Yeah. And you got that Southern thing going on. You can't have a military group without at least one Southern guy coming through.
I mean, that's part of it. Sounds like it's almost a stereotype, right? That's what we sort of was, the Southern guy. What do we have to do on the weekends or in the afternoons? Nothing to do out here, just shoot stuff, blow stuff up. You think about this probably guy that rides a motorcycle with no helmet. You know what I mean? And so the group dynamic was fantastic, and they just needed that. The group is gasoline, and it needed a spark. Steve's a sniper, and he's all about guns. And as you see, not really a villain, not really a hero. He's shooting bad guys one time, and then when the SWAT team becomes, their attitude is like, these are my boys.
Right.
And I got to take care of my boys. And I don't know if this SWAT team is on the take with Austin or not. So I got to do what I got to do to keep my guys alive. So, that the team is kind of neutral in that way, if you think about it. We're an anti-hero, right? We're there to do the right thing. But we're not going to stop and ask you if you're good or bad. We're just going to shut you down.
Yeah, and I love the fact that your character, even though you were kind of nonchalant about it in the beginning, at the end of the day, it showed your loyalty when you have a military brother. No matter what's going on in your life at that time, your character just stepped up and just showed up and showed out in times that people didn't even know you were coming through in the movie. And I'm going to leave it at that so people could watch this film and see what.
Well, I'm not going to give anything away either, but I think you saw in that moment, is a little bit of reality. He's having a fight with his wife. He's going, hey, I already left you for a little while, did this thing. We didn't really make no money. I didn't see no value in it. And she's back there raising, what? And he's like, you got me back once. I can't come again. But then, as you said, he had that bond, and Steve had to do what he had to do.
Yeah, and I love it. And if guys, definitely go check out this film. Check out my man, Alexander Kane. He's playing a great role, and you're going to love it. And he's definitely got a little comedic scenes going on, as well as the royalty. And Alexander, brother, thank you for being on FaceTime with Todd Wharton and taking your time out from your busy schedule and hanging out with me on the virtual red carpet, man.
Listen, man, thank you. I think you got a nice delivery. And speaking on the movie, it's a Bruce Willis movie, and it's one of the more fun Bruce Willis movies in the past 5 or 6 years. We're not going to win no Oscar, but we are going to keep you entertained for about an hour and a half. So definitely check it out.
So we had a great time tonight here on the red carpet, and the film was phenomenal. I definitely want you guys to go out to the theater, get your tickets, and believe me, it's worth the money, and it's worth getting back into the theaters, because I think a lot of us are sick and tired of staying home and watching Netflix. I still like Netflix, but I need to get out more. So this is your man Todd from FaceTime with Todd Wharton, and I'll see you next time at the movie.